Okay. And then the unique relationship, this is related to the version, we call it the version of the structured output. Now there's something called extract as well. Let's pause here and choose the word extract. What does extract mean in terms of the concepts mentioned in hardware and software components? If I click on the word extract like this, and it takes a moment, and then you pause on it and choose. So I'll tell you, you want to keep in mind that these are really nice concepts, honestly. Sometimes the teacher wants to know the concept of a single hardware component or software components. You've included more than one thing in the title. So they might ask you if you want the concept of the hardware components, or do you want the software, or do you want the computer itself? What you will learn will show you the concept. If you inform the program and say add, it will show you the program term. So if you click on the word extract, it will start loading. Wait a moment. Programming. So if I just click here exactly and press the word or, I want the hardware components as a term. Why? So that I can place this term under its concepts. Someone tells me to place my concepts like this, like software and hardware. So I want to know what the term is. I apologize for the interruption. I will contact Dr. Sami and see if he has a problem. Let's continue together. So I attended extract. Extract on the software and extract on the hardware. I want to place a concept under software. What is the concept of hardware? So I'll go to the software and pause on it like this and click on concept. So he tells me, keep in mind, do you want a related concept, a direct concept, or a similar one? So I say, for example, related concept. Okay, here it is. So it starts loading. And focus with me here. These are concepts related to this topic. And look, it gives you a lot of concepts. These are concepts related to the topic of software. Or do you want direct concepts right away? Or did you ask him why there is a specific concept for information systems, engineering, and programming? And if you noticed, all of this is indeed programming. This is the system of information, engineering, and programming, and programming, and programming. All of this is programming stuff. So which one do you want? There are many programming types. So you might have been working, for example, in functional programming. You might have been working in open source programming. You might have been working in collaborative programming. The topic you are working on, we might be working in artificial intelligence, like our project. So the thing you did, and you can load things, I'm telling you, lead more as well, meaning we can load even more things than that. So the thing I chose, just click on the word add, and it will pop up. Ooh! As for the concept, it will be here. A concept specific to artificial intelligence. So the software here refers to the components specific to artificial intelligence, and so on. If I focus on the hardware components, what is the concept here? The concept, if I say use similar, pay attention, similar, it means it matches the hardware components. Don't focus on me here. Look at the shape that appears. We say it's the same concept. The hardware components are the devices, equipment, electronic devices, internal components, and electrical circuits. Explain this concept. There is a difference between the two. Do you want a related concept or a direct concept? If you want, for example, this software, if I want to close this section and I want to close this section about the software directly, similar. You might get asked what software means. They will explain it to you right away. Software includes development, programming systems. I can say programming, applications, systems, programs, etc. together. All this is under software. For a student, when I say software, he should know there are cloud, custom, interactive, and open source software. The map can be enlarged or shrunk and organized well. I put all this under programming. Student. Oh my God, I mean, all of them can see all of this. When I say software, yes, he should know that there are cloud software, custom software, interactive software, and open source software. Wow, wow, you can place them wherever you want. Of course, the map, as we agreed, you can enlarge it or shrink it as you wish and start organizing it according to its structure very well. All right, and here, pay attention now. This is the topic, the concept, and there's something to note. Dr. Sami, you have a quiz here, but the quiz means you can input the information and put a test on it. But unfortunately, the quiz is closed. We have many programs related to it. I can get you many programs that do quiz work very well. I don't want to dwell on this part. All right, here we have compare. The compare here is the comparison. For example, I want to compare two things. For example, between the hardware components and the software. All right? So for example, I stand on the hardware like this and press compare like this. All right? So I tell you, you need to press on two things. You want to compare two things. You need to stand on two things. To compare between them so that I can compare them for you. I mean, you stood there. You shouldn't just stand on one thing. You need to stand on two things so that I can compare them for you, and so on. So this is very important for you to know if you want to compare a specific thing. By the way, in comparison, I can, for example, compare these programs with, let's say, these. One moment.
My mouse isn't responding. It's definitely completely stuck on one of two things.
And you make a comparison between them. I did it before. It was just a simple task. You need to have two things. To make a comparison, you have to specify two, like for example, the beginning. And you also need to specify the software that goes with it. Okay, no. Honestly, I'm using it and I'm specifying with control, but not with the other one. I also use shift along with control, but they just don't seem to work together. I don't know if control is stuck or what exactly, or it was working before I entered the folder. All right, you should try that. Now there's something called analogy, and it's honestly really nice, guys. It's really great. Like, what do I mean? We covered our topic. Where's our topic? The topic map is the hardware components. Let me enlarge it a bit so we can see how things are. The topic is the hardware components. Let's make it a little bigger so we can see how the world works. There's something called analogy, honestly. So it explains this to you. If you stop at something, it explains to you that it's an analogy to describe or select input. Here's some information that you might not understand very well. So I say to you, give me an example and describe it to me. So describe it to me using something close to everyday life. For example, I'm focusing on the hardware components. Describe it to me a bit. So he's trying to describe it to you and says that the hardware components of the computer can be compared to the human body and its mind. So the hardware components like the processor, memory, and disks represent the body, while the software represents things like systems and applications, which are like the mind. So it clarified the idea. It brings the information closer to you guys. This is very important for the students. You can apply this to students, especially those who are at lower levels, and how this can be or not be applicable to higher levels. In your topic here, you're trying to bring the idea closer to them through examples from life. So, of course, that's also a really nice thing. The information here is explained in several ways and styles, and just look at the amount of information that comes out from just these two words.